Hey YouTube, New York City Reloader here again. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I've been traveling with work and business has been good, so I haven't been around too much, either on the chats or making videos, but I'm back today. I went ahead and for Christmas I got a 3D printer, and I'll post a link in the description to which one I got. I want to recommend it to you guys who are doing reloading, that some of the aftermarket components that you buy for your Dillon presses and RCBS devices and scales and everything else, funnels, all that stuff. Well, now with the wonderful world of 3D printing coming down to a price that everybody can afford, you can now go ahead and use sites like STL Finder and Thingiverse.com to go ahead and download models, specifically models that have been made for the reloading industry. So today, and I'll hold this up real quick, I'm going to show you a primer holder for the Dillon 650 case feeder. So what this will do, and I printed this out today a little while ago, this will actually sit on the case feeder of my Dillon and it will hold the primer tubes. So I'm going to go ahead and take a primer tube and pop it in here. Okay. All right, so the printer is about $250. You don't really have to have a whole lot of knowledge. It may take a little time setting up and getting used to. It took me about a day to figure out how to build it and how it functions and work with it, but it was definitely worth it. In addition to that, I have another thing that I made, and it's pretty interesting. I have, let me just go out of frame here for a moment. I have an issue when I run out of primers that this rod holds down the alert. And so what happens is you get that. And if I'm finished reloading and I'm out of primers, I almost have to reload primers in, but I don't know if next time I'm going to be using those primers or another type of primer or for the type of loads, the rounds, so I don't want to reload it. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've printed out, also available on Thingiverse and STL Finder, is I've printed out this little part. And this little part gives me the ability, hopefully you can see it, gives me the ability to essentially plug it on top of the rod that holds the primer area, the primer feeder, and it will also hold the rod. So this would go on the primer rod where you enter the primers in, and that would normally go inside. And when you're done and you don't want to use it anymore, it's got a little clip that this is going to actually plug into, so it'll hold on to it on your primer feed. So I'll go ahead and take a picture of a while, and I'll show you both of those added onto my press with the proper apparatus. Another thing to talk about is it literally took me 4 cents to print this. This is what the cost it was to print this, was 4 cents. Now, if you go on eBay, Amazon, and you find this exact part, they're gonna be charging you anywhere from $25 to $35, all right? This part here, the one that fits on your case feeder attachment, is also on eBay, even though it's free on Thingiverse and STL Finder. This thing is selling for anywhere from $50 to $70. And this literally cost me about $1.50 to print this out in material. Very hard, very strong, heavy duty stuff. So I'm going to be printing a bunch of items like this out for my Dillon, and I'm going to put links to it on my site where you can get the models, and I'll be doing some future videos relating to 3D printing and reloading together. All right, with that said, I just wanted to go ahead and take you over to the Dillon press and show you these items being installed on my press. I'm here in front of my Dillon case feeder, and I'm going to go ahead and just pop that right on top like so. And I've designed it so it goes right on top with really good tolerances. And I'm going to take a primer tube, pop that in there, and that will simply go there. You know, these are all over my desk sometimes, and it's nice to have a primer tube all ready to go when you need to. Okay, so now I've got 2 primer tubes ready to go on the side of my press, and it's not taking up any extra space. So that's how that particular mount works. A little while ago, I was telling you about the primer tube that goes in here, and essentially there's a weighted rod that goes down, and when you're out of primers inside your Dillon 650 or 550, what'll happen is it'll actually weight this switch down and it'll beep. And if you finish reloading and you're out of primers, and that thing's going to beep, and you have to take the primer rod. You'll notice there's no primer rod in there now. So if I kept the primer rod in there, it would be beeping. What I've done is that little 3D print that I did before, I'm gonna go ahead and snap that onto the device now. And once I pop it on there, I think I'll pop it on about there. Okay, now that it's on there, I'll go ahead and take the rod. Sorry if it's a little bit shaky right now. I'll get a little closer. And I'm going to take that and simply pop it right on. There you go. Okay, I'm back. I showed you both of those parts that I printed for my Dillon 650. The one for my case feeder essentially clamps onto my case feeder and holds my primer tubes, which is great because they're always in the way. I'm always moving them, and now I have a place I can store all those hanging right off the case feeder, really nice and clean. It matches my press. It's pretty much the same color. I also made the primer rod holder, essentially to hold the arm, the essentially tube with a weighted tube that essentially holds down the primers inside my primer feed on my 650, and I made that part. So between both parts, you're looking at about $3 worth of costs besides the printer. Why do I bring that up? Well, I'm going to be printing about another 2 or 3 more parts in the next day or so, and if I were to add these 2 parts plus the other 3 that I'm making, I would have actually recovered the cost of my 3D printer. You're saying, how is that possible? Well, you're looking at the primer tube holder that fits on your case feeder that's available on eBay and Amazon from a bunch of different companies. It's the exact same one, maybe slightly modified. And that particular one goes for about 65, 75 bucks plus shipping. So, you know, on eBay, Amazon, wherever you get the best price. But that's just one. Now, if I go ahead and do the one that holds the primer rod, that's around 35 bucks. So right off the bat, we're already at over $105, $110. So right there, you can see that I've already paid half of the printer off, or close to half already. When I print the other 3 parts that I'm printing out, it'll actually be about the cost of the printer that I'm talking about. The printer that I'm talking about is a Creality Ender 3 Pro. It goes for anywhere from $225 to $250. And you want to get it directly from Amazon, and I'll put a link in the description so you don't worry about a third-party clone knockoff, which is a piece of junk. You want to get the right one, so I'll put a link in there for you. You also want to be able to go to Thingiverse and stlfinder.com. So Thingiverse.com and stlfinder.com, and you can simply type in Dillon. If you get a chance, go there today, type in Dillon and see all the different parts. If you got a Dillon 550, if you have a Dillon 650, type in Dillon space 650, hit search, and you'll see all the beautiful parts that you can go ahead and make on it. So I'm making parts like crazy. I'm having a good time, and I'm saving a ton of money. I'm also heavy into 3D design, and unfortunately in the past I used to use some really, really amazing software programs that I know like the back of my hand. Fortunately, I don't sell those products anymore, and they're $30,000 to buy it with another 20% support cost every year. So I'm not going to buy those. I'm going to use some of the freeware software to design my own products. All right, that's all I have to say, guys. Again, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you haven't stopped by the reloadersnetwork.com, please do so. Some of the greatest content creators available on YouTube for reloading, shooting, casting are all available online there, and you can have some great conversation with some amazing people. So stop by. All right, have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye.